The Mortal Kombat series will go down as one of my favorite gaming franchises ever, featuring more guts, gore, and potential glory against both tough as nails AI and real players locally and around the world online. That feeling not only remained, but grew even more profound with the release of Mortal Kombat 11, an entry that, according to my PlayStation account, is the most played game in my library at over 400 hours. So of course, when the announcement of a new Mortal Kombat came to be, this combatant felt his blood pumping with excitement, a feeling increased upon playing the pre-order beta a month before the full release. Though the new gameplay features and the returning characters seemed excellent in the pre-order beta, the question remained if the latest reboot in the Mortal Kombat narrative series could pull all the pieces together to match, if not surpass, the grandiose offerings that fellow games in the genre, including Street Fighter VI, crafted to ensure players both casual and professional keep coming back for more. The problem with finishing a fighting game is completion comes with a personal goal or goals, mostly associated with mastering a character to the best of their abilities so they can fight anyone who faces them. Unlike the days of the original Mortal Kombat trilogy, Mortal Kombat 1 features a variety of modes, including the fourth playable semi-cinematic campaign where players had the chance of using the majority of the roster in up to 4 battles. Picking up where Mortal Kombat 11 left off from a narrative perspective, the player is given a chance to test out their skills while exploring the timeline crafted eons ago by former Time Lord, now Protector of Earthrealm, Liu Kang, after his overcoming Kronika and Shang Tsung. As expected, the usage of time paradoxes and multiverses since Mortal Kombat 2011, culminating in an all-time battle paying homage to literally every Mortal Kombat story up to Mortal Kombat Armageddon. This mode lasts about 7 to 8 hours with the suggestion to play through the final chapter again if players want to get a glimpse into what Mortal Kombat 2's story might offer. For gamers who don't want to stress themselves out playing online, the classic Towers returns, a mode where the player can take one character and fight CPU-controlled opponents until reaching a deadly alliance for the final battle, and upon the player's victory, witnessing an ending highlighting the future of that player's character. There are also Survivor and Endless Towers to really test your might. Mortal Kombat 11's Towers of Time and the Crypt have been removed in this version in favor of a more extravagant, though simplistic experience known as Invasions. This board game presentation, featuring seasonally changing content, allows the player to move through certain realms via maps where they'll fight AI opponents, with some battles having conditions for both the fight, such as a fire-breathing bat randomly flying through the screen to burn unprepared combatants, mini games including the returning Test Your Might, and collecting items for the modes' RPG elements, such as upgrading an obtained talisman or allocating stat points after leveling up. Like its predecessors, Mortal Kombat 11 and Injustice 2, there is seemingly no end to what Invasions will provide, even if the mode itself is rather underwhelming and tedious. Mortal Kombat 1 also gives players the option of combating others online as expected. Mortal Kombat 11's Combat League returns for ranked play in a best-of-5 series, with gamers reaching certain levels per season gifted customizable options for several characters. Casual online play is broken down into simple one-on-one bouts against a willing player, or the returning King of the Hill mode, where the combatant must defeat the reigning champion and defend the figurative throne for as long as they can against a varying degree of player-controlled opponents, with a loss resulting in having to start at the bottom all over again. Thankfully, 9 times out of 10, the connection quality is superb online, but there were some major crashes trying to start a King of the Hill match and laggy fights during the early access portion of the game's release, specifically open to players who bought the game's premium edition. Similar to Mortal Kombat 11, obtaining the various achievements and trophies is rather easy, with the majority of the grind coming from completing stuff in Invasions. But the true completion process comes from mastering your favorite character and figuring out how to make them as cute as possible by unlocking various costumes and color palettes. The core gameplay and previously used implementations that made the prior Mortal Kombat game so addicting returns here, with a huge addition to its fighting system: cameos. What was first thought as Mortal Kombat 1 returning to the tag team system last seen in Mortal Kombat 2011 turned out to be anything but, as cameos act as essentially another set of special maneuvers. After choosing a combatant, the player is made to pick a cameo, ranging from the ground-pounding Jax, knife-throwing Kano, ice shield gifting original Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat 1992, to everyone's favorite cybernetic ninjas Sector and Cyrax for missile and bomb projectiles respectively. Instead of just being a full-blown version of the match stipulation seen in Test Your Luck fights from the previous Mortal Kombats, cameos add a layer of gameplay totally unexpected in a Mortal Kombat game to potentially complement a player's strategy like Serena throwing 4 projectiles with the last 2 actually pulling a struck enemy closer that may lead to a combo string. Another positive for cameo usage is the ability to juggle and vertically combo enemies with the air combo system that actually has a simplified nature, so players can use one strike button to pull off some airborne damage. Another feature from past Mortal Kombat games returning in this iteration alongside cameos are combo breakers. If the player has a full enhanced meter, a 3-segment bar at the bottom of the screen that fills when taking and dishing out damage, the player can call their cameo to perform a breaker when being comboed to near death. There are some limitations to cameo usage, including cameos being on a cooldown meter that usually empties after 2 usages back to back. Players can only call forth cameos when not being attacked beyond the aforementioned combo breaker. Also, cameos can be hit, so if the player throws a projectile as a cameo like Darius is rushing forward, the cameo is struck and sent back to where they came from for a failed attempt at performing something impressive by the opposing player. Several gameplay experimentations from Mortal Kombat 11 are removed in this iteration, including the offensive and defensive meters, crushing blows, and metered wake-up attacks. Returning though are the Fatal Blow Desperation attacks. Fatal Blow maneuvers are solely connected to the character's life, with activation becoming available when the health bar reaches 30%. Fatal Blow attacks can also only be used once per fight, and have even less armor than those in Mortal Kombat 11, with the window to block an incoming Fatal Blow bigger than ever, meaning a player must be smart and plan accordingly if they want to pull off a Fatal Blow in the most effective way possible. Flawless blocking yet again rewards a player who knows the animations of incoming attacks and blocks at the perfect time to create a larger window for counterattacks. Another modification compared to Mortal Kombat 11 is the returning enhanced meter to amplify special maneuvers, similar to the environmental interactions from Mortal Kombat 11 being attached to the amplify and enhance button. Performing a greater version of a regular special attack in Mortal Kombat 1 requires hitting the block button alongside the combination to perform an intended move. This means there will be times when the player doesn't execute an enhanced move as planned, or block after a combo string, rather than flying across the screen to capitalize on an opponent's unsuccessful combination. Mortal Kombat X's 3 variations per character has been removed in this iteration, so each fighter is their own complete self out of the gate. That doesn't mean customization is completely removed. By playing with each character and the various cameos comes experience points for mastery. With each level of mastery comes the unlocking of various outfits, colors, and banners to give the combatants a player's personal flair, while also providing new brutalities. The barbaric final round ending maneuver usually capping off a combo or particular maneuver. Working through invasions also unlocks certain customizable items for every character. The single-player offerings are a mixed bag. Depending on the player, this latest Mortal Kombat campaign may feel like a story that's treading water. Beyond the obvious odes to the once lampooned 3D-era Mortal Kombats, Deadly Alliance, Deception, and Armageddon, the game's story does very little in being different in regards to presentation and accomplishing something monumental beyond some interesting character developments with perennial losers Baraka and Reptile. What Mortal Kombat 1's narrative succeeds at is establishing a new lore, with the potential of something more insane to come instead of the originally believed retelling of the events seen in Deception and Armageddon almost 20 years ago before the game's release. Technically, Mortal Kombat 1 is absolutely gorgeous, with some standout battle stages, including the intimate tea house, a particular character's grotesque lair, and the returning of a gigantic hourglass sitting in the middle of an arena. There are no interactables in these stages like Mortal Kombat X or its direct sequel. The sights and sounds are fantastic as well, beyond Megan Fox's vocal presentation as Natara, that makes Ronda Rousey's voice acting as Sonya Blade in the previous entry almost award-worthy. The game's biggest problem as of the week of release is stability. The first few days during early access made it difficult to get King of the Hill fights started without the game hard crashing. During the campaign's final chapter, saw the game hard crash as well. The Nintendo Switch version reportedly has a lot of loading issues, graphical glitches, and the system may be too underpowered to really play Mortal Kombat 1. Of course, laggy online fights can be a problem, with backing out resulting in a loss. There are no server-based lobbies like Street Fighter VI's Battle Hub, or even online tournament mode options, similar to Tekken 7, even though there's an offline tournament mode. Players can't enter practice mode while waiting for the game to find an online fight, and spectating an ongoing brawl in the aforementioned King of the Hill mode is impossible until the next fight begins. There's also the inability to have multiple matches occurring at the same time in a private room, something the King of Fighters 14 masterfully did years ago. Where Mortal Kombat 1 shines is through its most important aspects: the gameplay, audio and visual presentations, and the campaign setting potential entertaining future narratives. But the now dated online options, tedious invasions mode, and general stability issues, the latter being something that will most likely be fixed in the coming days and weeks, makes Mortal Kombat 1 less of an exquisite rebirth than it should have and could have been, considering how the landscape of fighting games has evolved since Mortal Kombat 11. The biggest reason to play any fighting game is how much fun the combat is, and thankfully, there's little to say negatively about Mortal Kombat 1's fighting system. With the addition of cameos, returning gameplay features, and the removal of certain implementations that limited Mortal Kombat 11, makes almost every fight in Mortal Kombat 1 thrilling. The new invasions leave something to be desired compared to the previous modes in Mortal Kombat's gaming history. While the campaign sets an interesting foundation for the future, the online options are lacking compared to its contemporaries, but is mostly functional. There's no denying fans of the Mortal Kombat franchise are eating great with this entry, but gamers who don't have a love for the series' plot, or even some of the gameplay's rigid nature, will be better off waiting for that inevitable Ultimate Edition down the line. No matter if a player gets it almost immediately or waits for a sale, there's no denying the fun brutality that can occur when everything clicks, including making someone quit in gruesome fashion.
Round 1, fight.
Simpler times.
Quitality. Baraka wins.